discussing the artist way, day 5. But shout out to everybody out there. You know what I'm saying? Checking it out from the YouTube. You heard me. If you're checking it out from YouTube, drop a icon, drop a little comment in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I need y'all to super fan up. You heard me? We getting out of the freemium. We getting out of the ghettos of freemium YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody on Twitch. You heard me? Broadcasting live. You dig? Sub up, sub up, sub up. We're gonna get right into it. This is day 5 of the artist way. Day 5 of the artist way. We've been doing some preliminary work, just reading some of the opening chapters. And as we read, I ruminate, I reflect, I talk about it a little bit. You heard me? And it's been a great journey so far. So I literally started this on July 1st, which was, I think, Monday. Might have been Monday at this point, or Tuesday, since this is the 5th day. So it must have been Tuesday. Yep. And the artist way is a spiritual path to higher creativity. And I wanted to do something new. I wanted to document my journey with it. Now, I'm an avid reader. I'm a great note taker. One of the things I'm going to be doing more of is creating content about the subject matter I study. I'm doing this for 2 reasons. I'm doing this because we live in a world of digital interaction where you constantly need content, but good content, meaningful content. Or at least that's my approach. So it's kind of a way to generate meaningful content that I feel like is helpful with people, helpful for people. It's to share and encourage you all as well, to inspire you all, hopefully, for some people to hopefully come along with the journey, maybe at some point get the book themselves. I think anything in service of encouraging people to cultivate their artistry is always a step in a righteous and radical direction. We look at the world today, it's a lot of things going on. One of the things I fervently believe is art is the weapon of the future. And we're all creatives, we're all creators, we're all made in the image of the great artist, right? The absolute artist. We all have the ability to create a reality. You dig? And as a musician and an artist, this is something I believe and I teach and I encourage others to do. Whether you're going to be a trash man, an engineer, a president, a teacher, whatever your job is, it is more meaningful if you approach it more creatively and you approach it like an artist. So the artist aesthetic or the artist perspective is not for the traditional artist. It's for every human because we're all made in the image of the greater artist. And we all have an opportunity to create the life of our dreams. Ultimately, our life is our biggest masterpiece. You dig? So without further ado, I just want to send a shout out to everybody tuning in. You know what I'm saying? If you're on YouTube, shout out to you, shout out to the family. Drop an emoji, drop something in the chat. Let me know you paying attention. Let me know you coming along for the journey. You heard me? And I'm doing this is a gift for myself. Like me, I committed myself to posting on YouTube every day for the next 30 days. And I decided I'm gonna do the same thing on TikTok. I've been posting on TikTok, but you know, I might post for a few days and then take a day off. I might post for a few weeks and then take 2 weeks off. So I'm committing myself to 30 days on YouTube in particular, and I'm gonna commit myself to 3 months on TikTok. Now, what this means is I would love to just post every day, but I'm committing myself to saying we at least got to do 3 months every day. We have to post at least 3 times a day, every day for the next 3 months. And for me, it's about seeing what will be the result of the committed action. I get excited about things like this because sometimes the reward for the journey is the journey. It's like what'll happen. And I'm not attached to a particular outcome. I'm not thinking about the fact that, well, if I do this, I'm gonna make more money. I'm thinking about if I do this, it'll necessarily translate in some more follows, even though I think that would be a wonderful byproduct. But I'm really doing it for the discipline and the commitment to myself and to continue to hone my ability to create content and articulate my vision, articulate my points, communicate with the general public. I truly do believe understanding social media is a valuable modern value proposition, and it can translate in many ways in your life. And I think it's just meaningful to be able to document your journey in different ways. So I'm challenging myself not only to show up on social media, but also but to show up in meaningful ways that I can look back on and gather value from, and then offer value to the general public. So the Artist Way, we're still wrapping up preliminary time. We're not going to be on for so long today, but again, I got to do this every day. Had a long day, had a great performance at the International African Arts Festival. Shout out to Brooklyn, you dig. I'm in New York right now. Shout out to my business partner, Chinlo, and his lovely wife, Nana Badu. Shout out to Soul Science Lab, of which I'm a co-founder of. We performed today. Beautiful set. It was really great being out with all of the black folks. Intergenerational love, all of that melanin, all of that culture. You heard me. We need it in order to not only survive, but to thrive and flourish. So, alhamdulillah. With that being said, let's hop on in. Now, reading this yesterday, what I love about this book is, maybe you can see it, it's the main text, but then they have these little like quotes on the side. And some of the quotes I read that I really love, this is one by Pablo Picasso. It says, painting is just another way of keeping a diary. And I said I was going to steal this. But instead of saying painting, I was going to say making music is another way of keeping a diary. By Ashanti Amin, not Pablo Picasso. See, that's how you do it. You just steal, but then you put your own spin on it. Another one, this is by someone named Robbie Gass. It says, like an ability or a muscle, hearing your inner wisdom is strengthened by doing it. Intuition is a muscle. Creativity is a muscle. A lot of times we have this perception that either you can do it or you can't. That's furthest from the truth. Now, some people are naturally gifted at certain things, but that doesn't mean with discipline, with consistency, or working that muscle out, you can't strengthen it. And we have to approach the things we want to manifest. We have to approach them as practice, right? Because a lot of life is actually muscle and muscle memory. So if something doesn't come natural, that's okay. You can work on it until it feels natural. There are a couple of other quotes that I really liked. I like this. Poetry often enters through the window of irrelevance. That's a good one. That's a good one. Let's see if we got any other ones. I meant to circle this one. I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. I really want us to keep this in mind. The most potent muse of all is our own inner child. I think that's profound. What we stand to lose by becoming too logical and too reasonable in adulthood is the inner child, which is the source of our innovation, the source of our creativity, the source of wonder. You know, I'm a grown man, obviously, but I still look at birds flying. I say, God damn, that's a bird flying. That's miraculous. I still look at butterflies and I'm taken aback. I still look at clouds. I still look at little bitty babies. And I say, wow, I still look at grannies and I'm amazed. So I never want to lose the wonder and awe of beauty of life, because what the fuck is the point if that happens, you dig? So, powerful quote. The most potent muse of all is our own inner child. I love that. At the height of laughter, the universe is flung into a kaleidoscope of new possibilities. That's gorgeous. I love that. How you love that? Cars on Chrome. All right, so we're going to finish up. We literally have we only have a few more pages, so this is going to be a short session tonight. And what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to kind of just reflect on what we've done so far the past week, and then we're going to prepare ourselves to hop into the practice. Of course, the practice consists of artist pages in the morning and artist dates. So let's finish up with this preliminary chapter that explains the tools that we're going to utilize in this book to continue to cultivate and ascend into higher realms of artistry. Here we go. Finishing up where I left off yesterday. I love this. I'm gonna reread this again as we get into the new passages. You are likely to find yourself avoiding your artist dates. Recognize the resistance as a fear of intimacy, self-intimacy. Often in troubled relationships, we settle into an avoidance pattern with our significant others. Can you relate to that? Fear of self-intimacy. We don't want to hear what they are thinking because it just might hurt, so we avoid them, knowing that once they get the chance, our significant others will probably blurt out something we do not want to hear. It is possible they will want an answer we do not have and cannot give. It is equally possible we might do the same thing to them, and that then the two of us will stare at each other in astonishment saying, "But I never knew you felt like this." Watch this now. It is probable that these self-disclosures, frightening though they are, will lead to the building of a real relationship. I've been pondering quite lately the fact the only way to it is through it. Sometimes you have to die in order to be reborn, right? So we spend our lives being scared of the death process of the winter time. But the only way to get to that rebirth, the only way to get to that spring is to go through that death. And the lovely thing we've learned about death is that death is just a season in the greater cycle of life. It's not permanent. Alhamdulillah, right? It is probable that these self-disclosures, frightening though they are, will lead to the building of real relationships, one in which the participants are free to be who they are and to become what they wish. This possibility is what makes the risk of self-disclosure and true intimacy profitable. In order to have a real relationship with our creativity, we must take the time and care to cultivate it. In order to have a real relationship with our creativity, we must take the time and the care to cultivate it. Our creativity will use this time to confront us, to confide in us, to bond with us, and to plan. The morning pages acquaint us with what we think and what we think we need. We identify problem areas and concerns. We complain, enumerate, identify, isolate, and fret. This is step one, analogous to prayer. In the course of the release engendered by our artist date, step two, we begin to hear solutions. Perhaps equally important, we begin to fund the creative reserves we will draw on in fulfilling our artistry. Filling the well, stocking the pond. Art is an image-using system. Art is an image-using system. In order to create, we draw from our inner well. The inner well, an artistic reservoir, is ideally like a well-stocked trout pond. We've got big fish, little fish, fat fish, skinny fish, freaky fish, straight fish, queer fish. I made that last part up. The point is an abundance of artistic fish to fry. Oh shit, we frying fish. As artists, we must realize that we have to maintain this artistic ecosystem. We have to maintain this is good shit, man, for the creative and the artist. If we don't give some attention to the upkeep, our well is apt to become depleted, stagnant, or blocked. And I feel like that's what I've been living with the last 2 years. A depleted, stagnant, or blocked artistic ecosystem. Any extended period or piece of work draws heavily on our artistic well. Overtapping the well, like overfishing the pond, leaves us with diminished resources. We fish in vain for the images we require. Our work dries up and we wonder why, just when it is going so well. The truth is that work can dry because it is going so well. As artists, we must learn to be self-nourishing. We must become alert enough to consciously replenish our creative resources as we draw on them, to restock the trout pond, so to speak. I call this process filling the well. I love this so much because a lot of times as creatives, we just take and take and take and take. And many of us never learn sustainable living practices to replenish from the well of our creativity. And then we find ourselves tapped out, tired, maybe depressed because we've given so much. I often say that artists die so that humanity can live and so that others can live. And as artists, we have to figure out sustainable ways of living so that our creativity doesn't, or our giving creativity to the world doesn't mean our personal death, right? Because the artistic offering is short-lived. We should be able to offer art in every era and season of our lives in a meaningful and healthy way. And I know that's what I'm seeking. That's what I'm after. You know, that's what I'm after. Um, Last year at the top of the year, we had a big show. Was that last year? 2024. I had a big show at the Apollo Theater. Wrote my first musical with my business partner Chin Lo. Renaissance Mixtape was the name of the musical we wrote. Really gigantic undertaking, and we finished it and finalized it. But it I feel like it broke me in a lot of ways, and I was just tapped out. I was depleted, and I didn't have anything or anyone to help me navigate that. You know what do they call it after women give birth? But and again, you know, this is not the same as giving birth to an actual child, but I gave birth to a creative child that I sat with for almost 4 years and gave my entire self to, and went through a lot of challenges and dysfunction with partners in the Apollo Theater, quite frankly. And so when it was all done, I felt like I'd given my all. I felt like I'd been through a very toxic relationship with the presenter. Um, and the show was beautiful, but other than that, had nothing to show for it. No money, no accolades, no acknowledgement. And I just felt depleted, you know. So I feel like the last couple of months I've been coming out of that, and I'm beginning to feel like myself again. And this practice is so attractive because I want to learn sustainable ways of being creative that don't require me crucifying myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to do this my whole life, and I want to love it. I never want music or art to feel like a chore I don't want to do, because that's not why I came to the work. I came to the work because it literally saved my life. It literally was my opportunity to get God on the phone, to channel something that transcended my limitations and allow me freedom, you dig? So I always want to keep art in that place. That's my superpower, so to speak. Filling the well involves the active pursuit of images to refresh our artistic reservoir. I love that. Filling the well involves the active pursuit I love this. I love what she is saying. I'm taking notes, y'all. I am a note taker. I'm a note taker. All right. How y'all feeling out there? I hope you're feeling good. Shout out to the YouTube chat. Art is born in attention. Its midwife is detail. Art may seem to spring from pain, but perhaps that is because pain serves to focus our attention onto detail. Interesting. It's an interesting point. For instance, the excruciatingly beautiful curve of a lost lover's neck. Art may seem to involve broad strokes, grand screams. I mean, she started talking about a lost lover's neck. I started thinking about moans and screams. You dig? Art may seem to involve broad strokes, grand schemes, not screams, and great plans. But it is the attention to detail that stays with us. The singular image is what haunts us and becomes art. Even in the midst of pain, the singular image brings delight. The artist who tells you different is lying. In order to function in the language of art, we must learn to live in it comfortably. Boom. Another one. The language of art is image. The language of art is image symbol. I would love, you know what? In order for me, I just started thinking about this. But in order for me to as I was reading this, I thought about another book I read that details the power of symbols in mythology. The timeless power of symbols in mythology, from time immemorial up into our present consumption right now. I think what I'm gonna start doing is I gotta read the text beforehand, and then I can have little videos and little examples ready to go to show y'all. That would make this shit real interactive and fun. Anyway, The artist language, yeah, the artist language is a sensual one. Come on, talk about it. Okay, the language of art is image, symbols. It is a wordless language, even when our very artists to chase it with words. Mm. The artist language is a sensual one, a language of felt. I often say, I often say, and this is not me being crude or rude, but this is real. The act of love making is art, and creating art is love making. You know, safely. You can do it out in the open. But there is a correlation, and the correlation is it's sensual, a language of feeling, of sensitivity, of listening, right? But the listening is listening, but it's feeling more than forcing or looking. You're feeling your way through it, right? When we work at our art, we dip into the well of our experience and scoop out images. Because we do this, we need to learn how to put images back. I've never thought about that in my life. We feed it images. Art is an artist brain. Art is an artist brain pursuit. We feed it images. Art is an artist brain pursuit. The artist brain is our image brain, home and haven to our best creative impulses. The artist brain cannot be reached or triggered effectively by word alone. That's interesting. That's interesting. The artist brain is the sensory brain, sight, sound, smell, and taste and touch. These are the elements of magic, and magic is the elemental stuff of art. In filling the well, think magic. In filling the well, think magic. Interesting. Think delight. Think fun. Think play. Do not think duty. Do not do what you should do. All right. All right. Spiritual sit up. Do not do what you should do. Spiritual sit-ups like reading a dull but recommended critical text. Do what intrigues you. Explore what interests you. Think mystery, not she said think mystery, not mastery. I've been I've been seeking mastery this whole time when I should be okay with being enveloped in mystery and feeling my way through it. Don't seek mastery. Seek mystery. And that may change too. Maybe you don't seek mystery. Maybe you invite mystery. Maybe you allow the mystery to, you know what I mean, to knock on your door. Maybe you just call it up. You dig? A mystery draws us. See, I just said this. A mystery draws us in, leads us on, lures us. And this is why we like mysterious romantic partners. Numbs us. Let me see. A duty may numb us out, turn us off, turn us off, and turn us out. In feeling the well, follow your sense of the mysterious, not your sense of what you should know more about. I love this. I love this. Cause this shit is mysterious, bro. It's like, what the fuck is creativity, nigga? Like, what the fuck is a planet spinning? What the fuck is a bird flying? What the fuck is a butterfly? What the fuck is love making? You know what I'm saying? This shit is it's a mystery. A mystery can be very simple. If I drive this road, not my usual road, what will I see? Changing a known route throws us into the now. Changing a known route throws us into the now. We become refocused on the visible visual world. Sight leads to insight. Sight leads to insight. A mystery can be very simple. Changing a known route throws us into the now. A mystery can be simpler even than that. If I light this stick of incense, what will I feel? Scent is an often overlooked pathway to powerful association and healing. The scent of Christmas at any time of year, or the scent of fresh bread or homemade soup, can nourish the hungry artist within. Some sounds lull us, others stimulate us. 10 minutes of listening to a great piece of music can be a very effective meditation. 5 minutes of barefoot dancing to drum music can send our artist into its play, fray, day, refresh. I'm gonna stop right there. There's a little more to cover, but I'm gonna say this to tomorrow sometime. And as I said, we're gonna refresh and get ready for our first week. I'm excited. Week 1 is entitled "Recovering a Sense of Safety." Right, so we're gonna spend tomorrow finishing this, and then I'm gonna begin to read. I'm even gonna read some of week 1 tomorrow, just to get myself ready for. Well, it's a lot. Okay, this is a lot. I just have to think about what the most effective way to prepare myself for the material, so I can be prepared to come back to you all. Because I don't think it'll be as simple as just reading the material. I want to be able to come with some activities, with some experience, with some experiments done. But with that being said, I really appreciate those of you who tuned in, all one of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And again, my name is Asante Amin. This is day 5 of the Artist Way. Pray you all have a beautiful evening, or a beautiful morning, or a beautiful afternoon, your day, or whenever you find yourself viewing this. And I'm going to holler at you tomorrow. Peace and